Hello and welcome to Out of Spec Motoring. Today we have a special treat, the $86,000 brand new Audi E-Tron Prestige. A big shout out to Audi Cary in the Raleigh, North Carolina area for letting us borrow this E-Tron, drive it, and spend some time with it so we can review it for you guys. It's a fantastic car. We're going to be doing a lot of E-Tron stuff coming up soon, so leave some comments below as to what you'd like to see us do with the brand new Audi E-Tron. This video, we're going to run through a little bit of the quirks, the weird things about the car, and some oddities that I've noticed playing around with the car all day today. So let's get into it. Starting at the front of the car, you'll notice the E-Tron has some amazing 21-inch wheels on this particular model. LED headlights all around, and the grille is actually set up really nicely where it's blocked off here where air doesn't need to be. They have slots for cooling, and then of course same on the bottom row. The bottom houses the radar unit for the distance cruise control, as well as a camera in the windshield for the driver assistance functionality, which is really nice. Coming around the side of the car, the charging on this car is really awesome. The port itself, all you do is click this little button and then it'll pop down. I don't believe it's available yet, but you can also have just a level 2 option on the passenger side. It is out in Europe, but I don't think the US has it yet. Charging this car, you have a couple different options. You can go from a 110 volt outlet that'll take 9 years to charge it, but you know what? The nice thing is, while it's charging, you don't have to wait there, so plug it in when you're not using it. Most people will have a NEMA 1450 installed at home or level 2 wall box to charge this car easily overnight, so you start every day full. Now about that full, you can actually set your charge limit in this car, 80, 90, 100%, what you'd like. Of course, we recommend between 80 and 90% of battery capacity for daily max charging. You also have the option of 150 kilowatt fast charging with the CCS port. There's a nice little flap here that doesn't seem to get in the way. Now the CCS port will allow, again, for 150 kilowatts all the way to 80% state of charge. That is incredible. We'll be taking the E-Tron on a big road trip pretty soon, and you'll be able to see how amazing that 150 kilowatt charging deep into the battery pack is for long trips. Closing the charging port, all you do is click this little button and away it goes. Nice and easy, perfect solution, I think. Down the side of the car, beautiful design. Of course, you have keyless entry and exit, and you can actually lock the car front and back door handles, which is interesting. Around the trunk of this car, of course, you can open it from the key, but what I would recommend is just walking up, kicking underneath, and there it goes. Trunk is actually pretty spacious. It does have a pretty high lip to get inside, and this particular one has a spare tire under here with a little storage cubby. That's very nice. The seats do fold down flat very easily with just a pull of this little tab. Same on both sides. You can get the dogs in there, and tons of space for your animals, in our case, is very much needed. Under the hood of the E-Tron, you find some really cool things. One, really a lot of space. You have some power electronic modules over here, but you also have a frunk. And included with the E-Tron, you get a level 1 adapter for your wall plug, essentially 110 volt outlet, and then also a NEMA 1450 included, so you can charge level 2 at home. Really awesome that it comes with that. And now we're on the interior of the E-Tron, so tons of really cool stuff in here. We're going to start on our left and work our way to the right. First off, we have these awesome door controls where you can individually lock each door for child locks, and they make a little noise each time you do it. Really cool. For your window and mirror controls, of course, you can adjust them. There's also a setting to fold the mirrors in, which they are right now, and there's a setting to heat them for the winter time, which is cool. The seats in the E-Tron are fantastic. We're in the Max trim model again, and we have massaging seats. And right now I'm getting a massage. I can adjust it here on the screen actually. I'm getting an activation massage, but look at all the different types of massages I can get. Let's try a stretch. I'm gonna go full intensity on that. My seat is also being air conditioned, so I'm staying nice and cool. And one of the funny things is with the massaging function is there are little air pockets in the seat, and you can hear them let some air out in the back, so pretty funny. The headrests, pretty awesome. You have a little button you can raise and lower, but you can also pull them significantly forward or back, so you can get right in the perfect headrest position for you. Let's talk driver assistance. This car has adaptive cruise control as well as steering assist, front collision, side collision warning, rear cross traffic assist. It has a ton of really good safety tech. Now, the adaptive cruise control isn't on the base model. You do have to option that, or it comes standard with the max trim, and I think it's a need to have option on this car. Audi's done a fantastic job on infotainment. So on this screen right now, we have it set in one of their settings where you can have the map big, and there's tons of customizations that you can do. We're going to first start with this top row over here is adjusted by these buttons. So we can have navigation, your telephone, your music, of course, and selecting this menu button will give us even more options on what we want to listen to, and same with every other menu. Gonna pause that. And then we have all of our functions for our range remaining, consumption, blah, 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 blah. It's a thirsty car. Right now the battery's around 50%-ish, and we have 100 miles projected remaining. So, you know, not amazing. We're actually above 50%. One of the things we can do to adjust the layout of the main display is coming over to our settings menu, display, and adjusting the virtual cockpit, and that's what the main instrument cluster in front of the driver is called. There's 3 distinct views, Classic, E-Tron, and Sport, and it adjusts how this screen looks. E-Tron is cool, it gives it the most futuristic look in my opinion, and that's how I would keep the car. You can configure each individual one to show you different things as well. One of my favorite parts of driving the E-Tron is the steering wheel and seating position. I think it's set up really nice for comfort and cruising, which is great. The steering wheel design is lovely, and these paddle shifters are what adjusts your regen. So on the topic of regen, you have 2 different modes. You can have the regen in automatic or manual. And what automatic does is it adjusts based on the distance of the car in front of you and the road conditions to determine how much regen you're going to have when you lift off the accelerator pedal. Personally, I would keep it in manual mode at full strength. You get 0.3 Gs of regen, which is actually about the same as what the Model 3 Performance in track mode gets, so a significant amount of regen under deceleration. And it works really well. Hitting the minus paddle increases that, and then hitting the plus paddle will allow you to coast a little bit more. Of course, Volkswagen Audi Group has Electrify America under their belt for their charging solution. So inside the navigation on the e-tron, it has a route planner that will actually determine where you need to stop along the way. Really cool. We're going to try that out on some of our longer road trips with this car, but it's nice that it will do some things to help you get around. Overall, the virtual cockpit, the screen, the heads-up display all work pretty well on the e-tron. I actually love the heads-up display as it shows on the windshield rather than a separate display that pops out of the dash. So after maybe a day or two of a normal buyer buying this car, they would get very used to it, get the car set up, and then you can have different profiles for each driver tied to your seat memory down here, which is a plus. Let's get into the air conditioning controls because there are plenty of fantastic controls to get the right climate. So down here you have all of your buttons along the bottom. So for seat heating and cooling, your air conditioning, of course, syncing your left and right, and you can even have different fan speeds for each seat. So let's go into auto, for example. We can set, it's going to get noisy. To sync them, all you do is you go like this and it'll sync the systems. We're just going to lower that for the sake of audio. Sorry about that. You have automatic recirc, you have fan, again, for the passenger side, all of that. On the same menu, you have your hill descent controls, you have your home link, of which I think you can program up to 8 garage doors on this. You can turn off your heads-up display or turn off the main screen. Now, one of the cool things about this car is there's a ton of options in terms of, on the premium models, having air ionization, which is really great, but you can also have 2 different fragrances pumped into the system. Right now we're on the summer fragrance, which smells summery, and you can also have a winter fragrance. No idea why they would name them that or what they're supposed to smell like, really, but I would say that is pretty cool, and I would like fragrances in my e-tron. On the topic of air conditioning, the rear seats also have a fantastic system where they can adjust the air individually and for left and right side, and it's really like a whole video game looking thing for rear seat passengers, so your kids are going to be happy back there. When you're exiting your e-tron, all you do is turn off the car, of course, but then you get this extra option where you can choose your auxiliary air conditioning. You can click it for immediate start. is run the air conditioning for 30 minutes at your set level on the bottom screen. So when you look at the air down here, this is what's going to run for 30 minutes. Very cool. As you're driving, you can choose a whole bunch of different modes, from off-road to all-road, comfort, dynamic, and you can even create your own. The car automatically adjusts the suspension to the correct height and stiffness setting, as well as your steering and power output. Now, the car doesn't always give you full power when you floor it. You have to be in the in the drive select sport mode, and what that will do is it will unlock a boost function. So when you push the pedal all the way down and past the little kick down button at the bottom, it will actually boost up all the power, and it really makes a big difference. This car, a lot of people were saying it's slow and it's not that sporty. I actually think it's properly powered and quicker than its gasoline counterparts in the same segment. So well done, Audi. I think it's properly powered. Not Tesla fast, but it doesn't need to be. In the infotainment system, we just touched on a handful of fun little features with climate and navigation. We'll do a full in-depth review on this car at some point in the near future, but leave a comment below about your favorite weird oddity about the e-tron. There's so many.